McCarthy in the state of Texas. Ooh. What do you think?
I'm not going to give you the Bart Scott treatment that I just gave, but I will say this. You better be cautiously optimistic here, all right? Cautiously. You still got – Jalen Hurts has got to prove it. This is a great offensive line, great defensive line, great rushing attack. Can they, if they get behind against teams or they struggle early, can they come back and put up points offensively? That would be my question. So Jalen Hurts is going to be kind of your thermostat, right? If he goes, they go. If not, you're going to have issues. I'm letting you know. You're discounting the Vikings, the Cards, the Steelers. There are still some teams in there that could give them problems because they can make it physical type teams. So the 7-2, I'm not 100% against it.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Two of them will beat the Eagles. They'll split the tough ones and they'll win the easy ones.
Well, the Cowboys have put on a pretty good 5 of 6 as well. So let's not just walk all the way through this. There's a reason we play some. I mean, you know, I know he covers them. There's a reason we play some.
What do you think, Bart?
Listen, the Eagles are trending in the right direction. This is a quarterback user-friendly type.
We haven't played a game. What are you talking about?
But one thing we know is for sure. Okay. That offensive line is the most physical offensive line in all the games.
Agreed.
And now you have a quarterback that can add to the running game, that led the league in rushing last year. Now you can go out and you give him 2 weapons on the outside. If you dare creep that 8th man in the box, you got one-on-ones on the outside with Smith and Brown. should be barbecue chicken. Listen, this team takes the wheel from you. I'm telling you, Jeff Friday. Greeny is on one today.
Listen, I agree. The offensive line. They were 9-7 with the best rushing attack last year. Yep. So let's not get like we're going to stamp 13 wins to this football team right now because of their schedule. You still got to go play him, and he's got to make those throws to those studs on the outside.
Graziano, are they barbecue chicken?
I don't know what that means.
I don't even know what it means.
It's hard for me to say.
But I liked the question.
But yeah, look, I think they're a good-looking roster. I think I think they're a really good-looking roster on the defensive line. They have a lot of good pieces. But I think Jeff is correct that it's about the quarterback. He's a young player. Young players still make mistakes. I don't think it's going to be – I hear great things about Jalen Hurts and where he is and what he's doing. I think he's going to show improvement this year. But I think that's a stretch to say 7-2. I think they're a good team. I don't think they're 9-7 last year. The Cowboys demolished the place.
Yes.
Here's what I will say.
Washington's a division game. You're going to just pencil
they have Carson Wentz.
They definitely got the better part of that. Here's what I will say. I understand that Jalen Hurts is a question. No one could dispute that. But there's something about that kid that makes me feel like his answers are going to be yes.
100%.
There's something about him
100%.
going back to his day, the way he handled the Alabama situation, everything else about this. I believe in the kid.
And they're not asking much.
Not necessarily in year 2 as a starter, right? Because there's going to be ups and downs with young players.
He's handled a lot of nonsense awfully well in his career.
I am not throwing my guy under the bus. But we won 11 games with Mark Sanchez.
Yes.
And this is
yes,
very
you are. You're
similar.
throwing him under the bus.
This is very
Somebody blow the horn.
You're not pulling Malcolm under the bus.
No, I love you, Mark. Man, you know I love you, man. But this is a very similar roster. This is complete. They had issues on the back end. They went out and go get Bradbury to kind of shore that secondary up. This offensive line, I watched them just take the manhood from people. They move people against their will, Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, let's just live in a world for a moment, though, if I may, where I'm closer to right than wrong. And the Cowboys, who have the absolute opposite, the beginning of their schedule is brutal. And that Week 6 game against the Eagles
is enormous.
If they're hovering in the area of 2-4, and one of those losses is in the division to a team that's up and away, what's that going to sound like around? That's the Eagles' first. Look at who the Cowboys have to play. They've got Tampa, Cincinnati, the Rams, and then the Eagles. If they lose that Eagles game, they're probably staring at 2-4, or could easily be. Let's put it that way. Then what's it going to sound like in Big D, Jeff Saturday?
Straight panic. There'll be a lot of panic going on.
Let me ask you this. What might Jerry Jones say in his own inimitable way if that's the way things are going?
Say, man, way we're playing's got me lower than a crippled cricket, boys. Jerry's got to see something better from you, man. Let's make it happen. But I have heard those words to the ear. I have heard them spoken.
And look, Dan Quinn is in the building. The guy he wants to be his coach. And the guy he really and Harbaugh talking over the weekend about the lack of a new deal still for his franchise QB.
He's hopeful to get a new contract. We're hopeful to get him a new contract. But all the rest of it is business. I mean, there's nothing other than coming to something that's mutually agreeable. That's the way all these deals are done, So obviously I'm very hopeful, and I think I know everybody's really hopeful to get it done. My interactions with Lamar have been all football, and he's been focused and locked in on that 100% from a football standpoint.
Oh, what an excellent answer to a question, right? I mean, you can't handle that as a head coach any better than he did. But finally, from a situation where there has been no information coming out, Dan, you actually have some that I think is really interesting about just how in sync these two sides feel, even though they can't work out a deal.
Right. I think people would make a mistake to think that because the contract isn't done, there's some issue with the relationship between player and team. There's not. To the point where I've been told by people there that Lamar Jackson, has actually had conversations with John Harbaugh, with the GM Eric DeCosta, about their press conferences and what they're going to say and how to stay on message with all this. So, look, they disagree on the contract. He wants more guaranteed money than they're willing to give him. I think we've reached that point, and I don't know. You say we're inching closer to his deadline. We may already be there. They have a practice tomorrow. Like that's the regular season. He may want this out. He no agent, so he has to negotiate this himself while he plays. He doesn't want to do that. So, but I think he's okay with this not getting done now and going into next spring and picking this up again. That's a key part of his negotiating leverage, is that he's okay with that.
So all of the stuff that we've seen on social media the last couple of weeks, the tweets, the no they didn't, that did not indicate, or was not a real indicator that he's unhappy.
I think he's trying to have some fun with us all. I think he enjoys that people would react that way to this stuff.
You got a little Aaron Rodgers troll going on with
Yeah,
us?
a little bit. A little more lighthearted maybe than that. But
That's true. Good point.
So Bartholomew, again, another one of your your former team, the Ravens here, and all the rest of that. Lamar's going to go out there. Somewhere along the line, they can be talking about what we're going to say in the press conference. At the end of the day, if we don't have a deal, because I'm not giving you as much money or whatever it is you think you deserve, and I'm still asking you to be my entire football team, that feels like a problem waiting to happen to me.
It's not. I'm telling you, Baltimore's a unique place. I mean, I witnessed Ray Lewis go through this, where he held out, Peter Bower held out. The relationship still was fine. They understand that you can separate the business. John Harbaugh has nothing to do with the direct, contract negotiations with Lamar Jackson. So that relationship with him and his teammates are just fine. I was with Joe Flacco. I interviewed Joe Flacco yesterday, who was in a similar position. He thought the Ravens thought his value was one thing. He thought his value was another. Well, it was like, okay, well, go prove to me. Well, the big knock on Lamar Jackson is that the fact that he maybe can't stay healthy. Right, and last year is an indication that maybe the injury, even though it wasn't a big time injury from being hit, it was a high ankle sprain. But if he wants to go out and prove himself, he can try and harness his inner Joe Flacco. What did Joe Flacco do when he was up for contract negotiation? He won the Super Bowl, won the MVP, got the Corvette, and he had the leverage. And once Lamar Jackson's able to get that type of leverage, he can get the bag. It's ways for him to protect himself.
Jeff's not buying it.
You can protect yourself.
You're not buying it.
Listen to me. I agree. I think Lamar right now is in a great place, great headspace, all that kind of stuff. Your body starts getting banged around, you start getting smacked around, and you're looking at $23 million as opposed to $230 million. I'm letting you know it will get frustrating for Lamar Jackson. We can talk about how nice everybody is. At the bottom line, the Ravens are telling you by their silence, we don't think you're worth what you think you're worth. Bottom line, however you want. Okay, so I'm not worth what you think I am. Right. At some point, when my body starts to take the toll, DeCosta ain't out there getting hit. Harbaugh ain't there getting hit. Nobody's getting hit except for me, and I'm the guy waiting on the cash in the bag. And listen, he's already proved what Flacco had not. He's already been an MVP. He's done the things already for this team, and their whole offense, Bart, is designed around he and his skill set. So unless they're going to take it and veer it completely opposite, it's just